Hello everyone. So nice to see you. How are you all doing today? Doing fine? I am so glad to hear that. Are you ready for today's story? Right, the name of my story is The King's Magical Clothes. Have you heard this story before? I'm sure you will enjoy it. Are you all sitting nicely? Let's begin our story. How does my story always begin? Mrs. Pillai opens the book like this, don't I? And we say, once upon a time, there lived a king. Now, this king loves wearing lovely, fashionable clothes. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about how the people in his kingdom live. He doesn't care if he eats anything. He doesn't care if they got money to live off. All he does is spend all his money on lovely fashionable clothes. He has stripy clothes, spotty clothes, all the colours in the rainbow clothes, and golden and silver, you name it, he has it. Every colours under the sky, he got the clothes. He loves fashionable clothes. One day, two weavers came to his kingdom. They said they can make the most magical clothes in the kingdom. King wanted to see them because he loves wearing fashionable clothes. That's right. He wanted to wear that magical cloth that the weavers promised that they could make. So he asked for the weavers to come to his castle. They came and they said, "My Majesty, we can make these magical clothes that no one can see. Only clever people can see our magical clothes." King said, "What? Magical clothes that only clever people can see? I want it now." Weavers said, "We need lots of money to make these magical clothes. We need gold, we need silver, we need satin materials, we need silk, you name it, we need it all. That's how we make the magical clothes." King said, "Money is not a matter. I got lots of money. You can have everything you want. All I need is my magical clothes." The weavers started their work. They had a big room and they started making things in the room. People come and have a look. They can't see anything. All they could see were these two weavers sitting and chatting. They peep in. They didn't want to say to the king that they can't see anything. If they say they can't see anything, what does that mean? The weavers said, didn't they? If you can't see the magical clothes, that means you are stupid. Everybody believed them. The minister went in to see if he could see the magical clothes. He couldn't see anything. These two weavers were pretending to cut, pretending to stitch, but there was nothing. The minister couldn't see anything. He went back to the king, and king asked, "How is my magical clothes looking?" The minister didn't want to say the truth that he couldn't see anything. He thought, if I say that he can't see anything, that means he is stupid. So he said, "Oh wow, my Majesty, it's magical. It's magnificent. You're going to love it." The day came. It was the day of a big procession. Everybody lined up to see King and his magic clothes. There were people on this side and this side. King was in the middle. He was going to wear the magical clothes. The weavers brought in carefully these magical clothes. No one could see what was there because they didn't want to say, just in case if the king thought that they were stupid. So the king was standing in front of the mirror. The weavers helped him put the magical clothes on. Even the king couldn't see anything in the mirror. All he could see was his naked body. He couldn't see anything. He was just stood there with no clothes. But he pretended that he could see too, just in case he thought if everybody thought he was stupid. So the king pretended that he could see his magical clothes. He stood in front of the mirror and said, "Oh, this is magnificent. I've never seen such magical clothes before." So the king went to the procession. People cheered on either side. They said, "Wow, look at King's magical clothes. It's magnificent." But actually the king was walking naked, wasn't he? Nobody was brave enough to tell the king that he was walking naked because they didn't want to be the stupid one to tell the king. He walked and he walked. There were lots of children waiting and playing to see the king. One little boy, he was not scared of anyone. He didn't care what other people think about him and whether he was stupid. He pointed at the king. He laughed and he said, "Look, the king is naked. He's not wearing anything." The king turned red of embarrassment. He looked down and he thought, "He's right. I am not wearing anything. Those weavers were lying. They took all my money. They made me stupid." King was so embarrassed he walked back into the kingdom. From that day on, he believed what his people said in his kingdom. He wanted to be the good king and do everything for his people. And he started believing in everyone. Is that a good story? Did you like it? I am glad you did. I will see you all later. Take care. Until then, it's goodbye from Mrs. Pillai. Take care.